Welcome, viewers, artists, and all alike, to another stream of Art Lounge. This is the Color and Comics stream. Today I'm going to be doing something slightly different in the beginning, and maybe throughout the entire stream, I don't know. I think this is going to be a faster process because it's coloring pencils. I'm going to be using coloring pencils. Last night, I'll be honest, I was kind of peeved towards the end because I was just like, this isn't turning out good at all. This is coming out terribly. And the paper was just getting super wet and, I wasn't getting good results. And I'm constantly complaining about the paper being too thin for watercolors. I'm still willing to keep working on this paper to see if it's just not about the paper, if it's just my technique sucking at this point. And me just sucking it up and going through it and trying to get better at it. But yeah, this is still this fun set that I've had for a while. And it's just so many beautiful colors on there. I really enjoy that. Looking at it, and it comes with another side right here. So it's kind of fun. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to see what kind of results I'm going to get from it. And yeah, let's just jump into it. Going to lay them out open. Kind of have them there in a view for you guys. And yeah, I'm going to continue from where we left off yesterday, which is right about here. Turn the page. It dried. It looks okay. It's still darker than it's supposed to be, I think, in a lot of areas. Yeah, just so disappointed by this page right here. And these two pages, awful. Let me see if I missed anything. Yeah, and this page too, like, look at that. This panel, this is just blobs of color, covering up a lot of detail. Boo me. Alright, so enough complaining about that. I'm gonna just do this one, do this panel. So it looks like I'm gonna be using purple scene. So I'm going to be using this one right here, and nope. Maybe it's this one. It actually, it resembles the texture of the newspaper print. And I think the other benefit of doing this is that it's helping to remember to keep it light. If I want to get like consistent color going, and it's slightly different, it's actually kind of soft. I'm feeling this texture and it's pretty soft. So far so good, no bleeding complaints. There's a technique for it. There's like, you could blend these together. You could do one color over the other. To get a mix of colors. Which I'm gonna actually try because this is too violet. Whereas the robe is more of like a purple violet. So I'm gonna put this down for a sec and see what happens when I... Does it say the color on there actually? I'm kind of curious. Now it has like numbers on there, and I think you have to look at the sheet and reference what that color is. I'm gonna put this over it and see if that really does anything. I think it needs more violet now. Yeah, so it kind of works similar to old school coloring because they put like little dots together, little pigments together, and then it formed like a different color. And in between there. Now this is going to be challenging because there is no flesh tone here. So I'm going to need to mix very lightly some yellow and red, or yellow and pink rather. I'm going to say it's this one. Here's to it not looking like a total disaster. And I decided to do it on this panel because this paper already seems pretty sensitive. Like I feel like if I do any more color, watercolor on it, it's just gonna seep right through and turn into like a hole. It's been so long that I used color pencils. I don't remember the last time I actually did. I'm gonna use a little white because I feel like maybe that will lighten things up a bit. It's so essential even in color pencils, because it kind of blends all of them together, all the pigments together. Just wanted to see if it like rubs off on it. I think it even like smoothens out the colors. Smoothens out the pigments. Probably has to do with the fact that it's like wet slightly. Let's see what it does over here. Yeah, I think it like, because it's kind of waxy, it actually like blends the pigments more. This is gonna be my best friend when it comes to color pencils. AB. And this is a pretty challenging scene, so it might not actually go as fast as I thought it would. Alright, let's pick the yellows right. So an orange was like a orange yellow, which I want to say is like this. No, this belongs here, I think. In fact, it's gonna be an okay base for pretty much everything. Can always just add a little bit more orange. Even the people are slightly orange, so. And this would work well with inks. There was a point where I was like, why not just do an entire comic book with color pencils? Yeah, I don't want to do acrylics because acrylics are plastic, and I really hate plastic. I hate it. I hate plastic anything. I know that it's important at this point because it's cheap and it's affordable in comparison, although I wonder how many companies have overshadowed alternatives for the sake of more profit, which is basically what General Motors did for electric cars. Like, electric cars were available way back then in the 60s, and there was like a design for it, and then General Motors shut it down. Of course, another disgusting, sick corporate, fascist, capitalist endeavor. Yeah, they shut it down, and they weren't really around as much. So I wouldn't be surprised if more like plastic producing companies, oil companies, basically, that's what plastic is made out of. It's all oil. Oil that's heated and expanded into that. Yeah, I just can't stand it. So I don't like acrylic and oils. aren't gonna be for the comic book process. So it's just like between watercolor, gouache, which I also want to try, and India ink, which I will try as well. Uh-oh. Now this is a good question. How's this gonna come off if I erase it? Because that's not supposed to. It's supposed to be purple or violet. Let me get white and then I mix it. I wonder like what the lifespan of this entire set is. Like if you're using it regularly, you're probably sharpening that white over and over and over again because it's such a good blender. Such a good blender. Yeah, it's waxy and I could see it happening. It's like spreading the colors more. Doesn't look as grainy. So it's not really doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is making it more light, more white. It's actually just like blending the colors. Am I not pressing hard enough? No, I'm pressing hard enough. It's just that's what it does. Just blends colors. Oh man, I just noticed that it's a little bit off frame. Sorry, everybody. I'm so into it, I didn't realize. I gotta say, this eraser is very versatile. If you guys can get your hands on it, it's worth it. It's worth every single dollar. There's some refills that come for it too. I use it so much. I'm liking this a lot. But this is no substitute. I'm still very determined to understand watercolor. And I like brushes. You know, I like the feeling of brushes. I like working with brushes. I think I'm just like slightly frustrated from my bad outcomes. For the future, probably what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a panel on watercolor paper and see how I like it. Just gonna probably do it off stream and just experiment with it to see what kind of a difference I'm gonna get when it comes to watercolor. So that way I could just really rule it out and be like, yeah, it is a paper. It's not so bad. I'm not doing that terribly. All right, now I'm gonna use like a light orange. Cover up this area. Is this a color that I should be using? It should be a different one. Maybe it's this one. I'm just gonna use compare and see which one. So far it's, I'm gonna say it's this one. It's closer. I'm gonna try another one just for fun. It might be even darker. Yeah, it's actually like this one right here. What I like about these pencils is like the kind of texture that comes out. Draw these lemmings. These lemmings following cult. Ooh, I don't have to think. I don't have to do anything. I just have to follow what this guy tells me to do. You lemmings. Pawns. Like, literally, they look like pawns. The guy was like brainwashing them, having them dressed like pawns. Pleasing results. I'll say this. This is a nice little break. Maybe I'll do this, you know, from time to time I'll take breaks from watercolor when I'm not getting good results and just replenish using pencils. I'm gonna do the fire. pretty bright red. It's just so suitable for this kind of comic book. You know, it's like flat colors. Not that much mixing involved. I don't want to use acetate paper. You know, I don't want to, like, again, more plastic. Bring out the white and see if I could blend this fire. And I'm gonna use that dark orange again, because there's certain areas that are orange. I'm trying to think back. When was the last time I used colored pencils? And my mind is going back to like 14 or 15. No, younger than that, like 12. But I do think about that, actually. Like when I'm thinking about my comic book and coloring it, I want to have it at this kind of style, you know, where it's like flat colors for the most part, just like having slight shadows here and there, similar to like the Project Stream. The way that I colored there. And I just like how the pencils are looking on here. Looks very cool. I'm gonna move on to parts of this like mountain. It looks like an Arctic mountain because it's white. And I wonder if that was just done for effect, or if the intention is real. I think it has to go more bluish. Do we have that here? Maybe I can mix it then. I think I'm gonna do a soft layer of this purple. And then add some blue. Man, it's still going out of screen. I really should follow that tape that I got. I made a tape marking to show, like, hey, this is gonna be danger zone. Just making sure there's no other area. Alright. Now I'm gonna take a blue color. Hopefully it's not too dark. Actually, that's something to consider. Maybe I should go a little lighter because it is dark. What happens when I do this? Kind of looks right. See if maybe I can see it better. Say the other benefit with colored pencils, as opposed to using liquids, is there's a reflection. There's no reflection from like the liquid when you have like the lamp over it, over your work. Okay, so since that's done, I'm gonna use white to see if it could help blend them all together now. I wonder if it's paper that's causing the white to be as waxy, or if this is really a technique. I was just kind of doing it because I guess of my like painting mindset, like, oh, if you add white to something it's gonna lighten it up. But it turns out that it's more of like a pigment mixer than it is a tool to like lighten things up. So this is probably like the lesson of colored pencils, is that when you put it on, what you put on is the final color. Like, you could put another pigment over it, but it's just gonna get darker. Like, there's no way back, is what I'm getting at. Like, that's why it's like much better to do it in layers, to start out incredibly light and then move your way to like dark tones, shades, and etc. Because as you guys could see, this isn't getting any lighter at all whatsoever. All right. Damn, I just realized I forgot to stop the stream to separate the project stream from the coloring comic stream. Row. That's alright. I'm just gonna have to highlight it. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to the blue. It's like a sky blue. So I'm thinking it's gonna be this right here. And I'm gonna just fill in the areas. I'm gonna look up some videos to see what like the actual technique was for coloring back then, because I'm looking at some of these markings and I'm like, what do they do over there? Like, what is this area right here? What happened to this area right here? Like, did they just blob on some blue? Was that intentional is what I'm getting at, or was that more of like colors just bleeding on acetate paper and like expanding out in these weird ways? I think that pretty much does it. I'm probably gonna revisit this hand with actual paint because that's atrocious. Like, what's going on? And I'm kind of excited to see what it's gonna look like with inks on all this. Is it really gonna make it brighter and better? I'm gonna gush about how great these pencils are, and I don't know if it's actually that or it's just because I'm liking the outcome. But it is fun, I'll say that. I just like working with the pencil in general, so this is like pencil plus colors on it. And I like that it's teaching me to be more precise about my pencil work. Could also be getting kind of dark because of the pencils. Because I am kind of like smearing it around. Press really hard on this area to see if it makes a difference. Nope. This makes it more waxy. Okay, with that said, I'm going to sharpen it. Something else that I haven't used in a really long time, a pencil sharpener. Like, I've been using mechanical pencils for such a long time that never found any use for it. It's creating some sort of dust, so I'm trying to figure out what color that is. Is it white or is it whatever I'm mixing it with? It seems like it's a powder that's a mix of both. All right, I think it's pretty much done. I just have to revisit it with inks. It is a relief not to think about, oh my god, is this paper gonna like give in any moment now and just like rip open from the brush stroke or from the water. I think that's the other part. That's the other reason why I'm really enjoying this process, is that I'm taking a break from that reality. So let me just I'm gonna flip over. I'm gonna do the next page. Still got time. So this is Conan getting prepared to infiltrate the cultists. As you could see, he knocks one out, and then he dresses himself up, one of them. So I'm going to start out with the background, which is a sky blue. nice light color over it. And then I'm gonna move on to this tent in the background, this cool looking tent. And it's like I guess it's like a pink. Is it a pink or is it like this color? I do it really light. I'm gonna say it's a pink. A really light pink. There's a robe wearer that's wearing a very, very bright pink. So I'm gonna go for that. Let's see if I can find the right color. Oh, it's too dark. I had it right the first time. It was this one. Actually, there's like a lot of pink in this panel. Kind of skipped over the order because I already had pink in my hand. Turned out pretty nice, actually. Now I'm gonna move on to, I'm gonna get back to the background. I'm gonna get back to the second to last background. It's like a nice golden yellow. It looks like, I think it's just the shading, but it kind of makes it look like it's a pregnant cultist, like even pregnant people are getting initiated into this cult, but I think it's just shadows. I'm gonna try this color because it seems like the exterior of it is very light, but the lead itself is much darker. It's kind of weird, but it looks about right for the cult robe. And I think I made her a little too happy there. This is why it also adds to the idea that she's pregnant. I'm not even sure if it's she, but just kind of have that impression. So I'm gonna wipe that smile off this cultist's face and put a frown. They're all angry, bitter people. This Instagram post today where there's like this woman who was throwing a temper tantrum in a restaurant. She picked up a glass and just threw it on the floor and started screaming and saying, "I don't like the way I'm being treated here." Told the guy to wipe that smile off his face. When he didn't have one, he was just freaked out by what the hell she was doing. Another old brat. And the guy working there, he was like, "Okay, I'll take you to the manager," and he took her out the fire exit and just closed the door behind her. Okay, so next I'm gonna do his robe, Conan's robe, and then do skin color for both of them. And it seems like the technique is very similar to what I was talking about in the Drawing Basics stream, is you don't have to press harder to get darker shades or darker color. You know, when you're practicing shading, for example, when you're doing the gradations, you just have to go over the area that needs to be darker several times with the same amount of pressure on a pencil, and it just gradually gets darker. Like it is here. It's the same idea. And it works out well. You're not practicing the death grip, which is always a plus. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the skin color for both of them, and then head over to the white pencil to blend them all together. So here we go. We're gonna do a little bit of pink and yellow. I think that's the combination here. It's not red and yellow. I'm gonna try this like yellow white to see how that plays into it. And it's making it a little too yellow. It looks like he has jaundice. So I'm gonna go back to, I'm gonna try red. See how that plays into it. Just a very light coat of red. It's not good. Let's hope that white can do some saving. All right. But still, I think because of the pencils, because the black pencils, the regular HB pencils, are really mixing them with colors, and it's giving them like dark tones. Man, at this pace, it looks like I'm going to be running out of white faster than any other color. This works really well though, like the pencil works really well with the blue pencil. So I might, next time, to prevent from like doing this to the face, like look at that, that's just super dark. I'm gonna just, and the same thing here, like this area needs to be much lighter, but that's how it is. So yeah, instead of doing like the regular pencils, I'm gonna color it. And then put the regular pencils over it and then ink it. Or just like do the blue pencils and then ink it. Yeah, after the stream, I'm gonna look up to see if there are any videos of like the old school process of coloring. Like, even though I understand it from like that brief little introduction I did for coloring comics, if you guys missed it, check it out. I talk about what method they were using, how common it was of a job for people. Like, since there were no like digital ways of doing it, a lot of the work was manual labor. Like, they would literally just hire people off the street, any age, any gender, whatever. It didn't really matter. They just wanted to get people in to pump out these pages. And people would just sit there and color comics. That's so great. That's such a great job. Even if you're not a comic book artist or anything, you would still get this job doing that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. I wish things would go back to that instead of everything becoming just like a one-man show. Get more people involved in the comic book industry and drawing and illustration. Gonna be careful with this one here because there's so much black pencils around. I feel like it's just gonna smudge the whole thing dark. Yeah, look at that. Boom. Super dark. I think that pretty much does it for this panel. I was able to do 2 panels. From start to finish, which is pretty cool. it's a good way to end the week. You know, I was frustrated with watercolors, but I will be back doing watercolors Monday. It's a new page. I'm going to be more mindful about how much water I'm using. Just don't want to give up on it just yet. I'm going to do maybe a little bit more experimenting with different paper to see if that resolves anything. Might stream it too if I get good results, and just to show you guys. If you guys enjoy the content, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Both go a long way to help the stream keep going. Check out the social media, post any questions, comments you got. I will write you back. And make sure you tune in Monday 3 p.m. for Eastern Standard Time for Drawing Basics, where I will be showing you guys different ways you can improve your drawing. Then at 4 p.m. I'm going to be doing more drawing comics, drawing out these panels, finishing up John Buscema's beautiful work, finishing up this comic as much as I can. And then 8 p.m. is going to be the project stream, and 9 will be coloring comics once again. So thanks again, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you soon.